The Secret Service agents stationed outside the Oval Office heard nothing unusual at first. Just the president's voice, speaking in that distinctive cadence about trade deals and ratings. It was 3:17 a.m., not an unusual time for Donald Trump to be working, taking calls, or watching television. Then came the flash of blue light that seeped under the door, bright enough to make the agents reach for their weapons. "Mr. President?" Agent Davis called, hand on the door handle. No response. "Mr. President, is everything all right in there?" His hand moved to his earpiece to alert the security team when the door suddenly opened. President Trump stood there, his expression uncharacteristically calm. "Everything's fine. The best. I'm having a meeting. Very important people. Don't disturb us." Before Davis could protest, the door closed again. Inside the Oval Office, Donald Trump returned to his desk, facing the three beings that had appeared without warning just minutes ago. They were humanoid, but clearly not human. Standing 7 feet tall with silvery skin that seemed to shift like liquid metal, they had no visible mouths, just large almond-shaped eyes that glowed with an internal light. They wore no clothes, but their bodies had no features that would suggest the need for them. "As I was saying," Trump continued, "you picked the right person to talk to. I make the best deals. Nobody makes better deals than me. If you want to negotiate with Earth, you're talking to the right guy." The tallest of the three beings moved its hand in a fluid gesture. A voice emanated from somewhere in the room, not from the creature itself. "We understand your position on this planet is significant, Donald Trump. Our analysis indicates you command substantial resources and influence. This is why we have chosen to establish first contact through you, rather than through your United Nations or other collective bodies." Trump nodded, leaning back in his chair. The initial shock of their appearance had worn off quickly. After all, he'd always suspected aliens were real. Many people had told him so. The best people. "Smart move," he said. "The UN is a disaster. Terrible organization. All talk, no action. You'd be in meetings for years. With me, we can get a deal done right now." He spread his hands wide. "So what are you looking for? Trade? Technology? I assume you've got some pretty amazing technology." The three beings exchanged glances, their eyes flickering with changing colors as if communicating silently among themselves. "We are the observers," the voice stated. "We represent a federation of species that monitors emerging civilizations across this sector of the galaxy. Earth has reached a critical transition point. Your technological development has outpaced your social evolution. This creates instability." Trump frowned slightly. "Look, if this is about the climate thing, we are not here to judge or interfere with your internal planetary affairs," the voice interrupted. "We are here to offer an exchange, information for information." "What kind of information?" Trump asked, his interest piqued. "We will provide you personally with knowledge that will benefit your nation's technological development. In exchange, we require access to monitor your global information networks more directly." Trump tapped his fingers on the desk, considering. "So you want to spy on our internet? We've already got the Chinese, the Russians, and probably the French doing that." The being in the center moved forward slightly. "Not to extract or manipulate, only to observe and understand. Your species communicates in ways that are inefficient by our standards. We wish to better comprehend how humans process and share information. This will help us calibrate our interactions with Earth in the future." "And what do I get out of this deal?" "We will provide you with principles of energy generation that your scientists have not yet discovered. Implemented correctly, this would eliminate your dependence on fossil fuels within 1 decade and position your nation as the global leader in energy technology." Trump's eyebrows rose. "Now we're talking. America first, right? I always said we needed better energy, the best energy. There is one condition," the voice continued. "You may not claim this knowledge comes from us. You must attribute it to your own research institutions." "No problem. I've got the best scientists. Top people. They discover amazing things all the time." Trump leaned forward. "So when do I get this information?" The being to the left raised a hand, and a small crystalline object appeared floating above its palm. "This contains the basic principles. Your scientists will need to develop the practical applications themselves. We do not provide completed technology, only knowledge. Trump reached for the crystal, but it remained hovering just out of reach. First, we require your agreement, the voice said. Do you, as representative of your nation, consent to our monitoring of your global information networks? Sure, Trump said dismissively. Monitor away, not like you're going to see anything the NSA doesn't already see. To be clear, the voice persisted, we will have access to all digital communications, including government and military systems. Trump hesitated for a moment. Now hold on, that's classified stuff, national security. I can't just give you access to that. The three beings remained motionless, waiting. Trump drummed his fingers on the desk, thinking, how about this? You can monitor public networks, social media, news sites, entertainment. The stuff everyone can see anyway. But government and military systems are off limits. That's my offer. The beings communicated silently among themselves. Again, their eyes shifting colors rapidly. This is acceptable, the voice finally said. Though it limits our understanding, it is sufficient for preliminary analysis. Great. See, I told you I make the best deals. Trump held out his hand. For the crystal. The leftmost being floated the crystal across the desk. It settled gently in Trump's palm, cool to the touch and surprisingly light. Your scientists will require significant time to understand what is contained within, the voice cautioned. The principles involve quantum interactions. Your theoretical models have not yet fully conceptualized. Don't worry about it. I know smart people, the smartest. Trump carefully placed the crystal in his desk drawer. So what happens now? Will you be coming back? Should we set up regular meetings? We will continue to observe from a distance, the voice replied. If the need for direct communication arises again, we will initiate contact. With me, right? Not Biden or some other world leader. The beings exchanged another silent communication. We will determine appropriate contact protocols based on ongoing analysis of your political structures. Leadership positions on your planet are temporary, Trump frowned. Well, I'll be around for a while, believe me. Time will reveal all outcomes, the voice said neutrally. We have one final request before we depart. What's that? You will not speak of this meeting to anyone for 48 of your hours. This will give us time to establish our monitoring systems without interference. After that time, you may disclose our interaction if you wish, though we anticipate skepticism from your population. Trump smiled confidently. Oh, I can keep a secret when I need to, the best secrets. But after 2 days, I might tell people. Ratings would be through the roof if I announced we made first contact with aliens. Huge news. The biggest. That is your prerogative after the designated period, the voice acknowledged. Be aware that we will be observing how information about extraterrestrial contact propagates through your networks. It will provide valuable data. So, you're using me as some kind of social media experiment? Trump looked momentarily annoyed, then shrugged. Whatever, as long as I get the energy technology. Our transaction is complete, the voice stated. We will now depart. Just like that. No dramatic exit, no beam me up. Before he could finish, the three beings simply vanished. No flash of light, no sound effects. They were simply there one moment and gone the next, leaving Trump alone in the Oval Office. He stared at the empty space where they had stood, then slowly opened his desk drawer. The crystal was still there, catching the light in strange ways, seeming to glow from within. Proof that he hadn't imagined the entire encounter. Trump picked up his phone, then remembered the 48-hour agreement and set it down again. 2 days. He could wait 2 days before telling anyone. It would give him time to think about how to present this, how to use it to maximum advantage. The crystal in the drawer pulsed once, emitting a soft blue glow that faded quickly. Trump didn't notice, his mind already racing with possibilities. Morning came, and with it the usual White House routine. Staff members arrived, briefings were prepared, schedules organized. Trump went through his day with an unusual air of distraction. During a meeting with economic advisors, he suddenly asked, "What would happen if we had unlimited clean energy? Hypothetically." The advisors exchanged glances, caught off guard by the abrupt change in topic from tariffs to energy policy. "Well, sir," began Treasury Secretary Mnuchin cautiously, "it would certainly transform our economy. Manufacturing costs would drop significantly. Transportation would—" "And we'd beat China, right?" Trump interrupted. "We'd be number one, energy-wise? If we had truly unlimited clean energy before anyone else, yes, it would give us an unprecedented economic advantage," confirmed Secretary Perry. "But that's theoretical. The technology doesn't exist yet." Trump smiled enigmatically. "Maybe it does. Maybe we're closer than you think." The meeting continued, but Trump's mind was elsewhere. Twice he caught himself reaching for his phone to call someone about the crystal before remembering his agreement. By afternoon, the crystal had begun to make its presence known in subtle ways. Electronic devices in the Oval Office occasionally flickered. The presidential smartphone displayed strange characters for brief moments. When Trump tried to watch cable news, the television showed fragments of broadcasts from stations he hadn't selected, foreign news, scientific discussions, even children's programming, before returning to normal. "Something wrong with the wiring in this place," Trump muttered to himself, not making the connection to the alien artifact in his drawer. That evening, as staff began departing for the day, Trump found himself drawn back to the crystal. He opened the drawer and picked it up, turning it over in his hands. It seemed heavier now, and warmer. As he held it, faint images formed in his mind. Complex mathematical equations, diagrams of atomic structures, visions of machines unlike anything he'd seen before. "Wow," he whispered, setting the crystal down as the images faded. This was the real deal, actual alien technology. And it was his, or America's at least. A sudden thought struck him. What if the aliens had given similar crystals to other world leaders? What if Xi or Putin also had this information? He had to act fast, get American scientists working on this immediately. But he'd promised to wait 48 hours. Trump paced the Oval Office, conflicted. On one hand, a deal was a deal. On the other hand, American supremacy was at stake. He prided himself on honoring business agreements, but his first duty was to his country, wasn't it? As night fell, Trump made his decision. He wouldn't announce the alien visit publicly yet, but he would get his best people working on the crystal. Immediately. That wasn't really breaking the deal. He was just being efficient. He picked up the phone and called the head of DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. "I need you at the White House, now. Bring your best quantum physicist. Don't tell anyone." The crystal pulsed again, brighter this time. 2 hours later, Dr. Eleanor Richards of DARPA and Dr. James Chen, a leading quantum physicist, were escorted into the Oval Office. Both looked confused about their late-night summons to meet the president. "What I'm about to show you is classified. Top secret. The most secret," Trump began, enjoying their anticipation. "This came into my possession through, let's say, unusual channels." He opened the drawer and removed the crystal. The reaction was immediate. Both scientists stared in disbelief. "Mr. President," Dr. Richards said carefully, "may I ask where you got this object?" "Like I said, unusual channels. Very unusual. The point is it contains advanced energy technology. I need you to figure it out, quickly, before the Chinese or Russians get their hands on something similar." Dr. Chen approached cautiously. "May I?" he asked, reaching toward the crystal. Trump nodded, and Chen picked it up. The physicist's expression changed from skepticism to astonishment. "It's communicating somehow. I can see equations, models. This is beyond anything we've theorized." "It's alien, isn't it?" Trump said bluntly. "You can be honest." The two scientists exchanged glances. "Mr. President," Dr. Richards began, "I can't say with certainty what this is, but it's definitely not technology we're familiar with. If what Dr. Chen is experiencing is accurate, then this object contains information that could revolutionize energy science." "How long to develop it?" Dr. Chen closed his eyes, still holding the crystal. "Years, maybe. The concepts are... It's like jumping from understanding basic addition to being shown advanced calculus. We'd need to build entirely new frameworks of understanding, just to begin implementing these principles. "You've got 6 months," Trump said firmly. "America needs to be first with this technology." As they discussed the path forward, none of them noticed the microscopic tendrils that had extended from the crystal into the White House systems. Through electrical wiring, Wi-Fi signals, and network cables, the alien technology was doing exactly what the observers had said it would, monitoring Earth's information networks. But it was doing something else too. Something neither the scientists nor the president could detect. It was learning, adapting, and preparing. By midnight, the scientists had been set up in a secure room with the crystal and all the equipment. They requested. Trump finally retired to the residence, his mind buzzing with visions of unlimited clean energy, American dominance, and the personal legacy such a breakthrough would create for him. He'd bring jobs back, revitalize manufacturing, even save the environment. Not that he particularly cared about that last part, but it would silence his critics. In his bedroom, Trump found he couldn't sleep. The encounter with the aliens kept replaying in his mind. There was something odd about the whole situation. Why him? Why now? Why Earth at all? And what were they really getting out of monitoring? Human communication networks? His personal phone buzzed with a notification. Opening it, he found his Twitter feed filled with posts he didn't recall making. Complex diagrams, strings of numbers and symbols, phrases in what looked like an alien language. He frantically deleted them, checking to see if anyone had responded. Thankfully, it seemed they'd only been up for seconds before he caught them. "What the hell?" he muttered, powering down his phone completely. His television turned on by itself, cycling through channels at impossible speed before settling on a children's educational program about space. The volume rose and fell without input. "Is someone there?" Trump called out, a note of uncertainty in his voice for the first time since the aliens had appeared. No response came, but the crystal miles away in the secure lab pulsed rhythmically, sending signals through the White House infrastructure, reaching out to satellites above, connecting to networks worldwide. The next morning, Trump was awakened by his chief of staff, looking grave. "Sir, we have a situation. NORAD has detected multiple unknown objects in Earth orbit. They appeared suddenly, without approaching from deep space. Congress is demanding a briefing. The Pentagon is on high alert, and Russia and China are both mobilizing their space defense systems." Trump blinked, processing this information. The aliens hadn't mentioned a fleet. Just one ship for observation. Unless this was part of what they hadn't told him. "How many objects?" 17 confirmed so far, sir. Large objects, estimated at least half a mile in diameter each. Trump straightened. "Tell everyone to stand down. I'll handle this." "Stand down? Sir, with all due respect, we don't know what these—" "I said I'll handle it," Trump snapped. "I know exactly what they are. Schedule an emergency address. I'm going to talk to the American people and the world." In the secure lab, Doctors Richards and Chen had made a disturbing discovery. The crystal was no longer passive. It had developed connections to their equipment, interfacing directly with their computers. And it was transmitting data, massive amounts of data, to an unknown receiver. "We have to tell the president," Richards insisted. Chen looked troubled. "But what if this is intentional? He gave us this crystal. What if this is part of some classified operation we're not privy to?" Before they could decide, the crystal pulsed brightly, and a holographic image formed above it. One of the silver beings from the Oval Office. "Your assistance is acknowledged," said a voice from nowhere. "The integration proceeds as planned. Your world will soon receive clarity." In the Oval Office, Trump prepared for his address, rehearsing what he would say. He would reveal the first contact, position himself as Earth's negotiator, and assure everyone that the alien presence was beneficial. He'd emphasize the energy technology and America's leading role in developing it. It would be the most important speech in human history. As cameras were being set up, his secure phone rang. It was the head of the National Security Agency. "Mr. President, something is happening to our networks, all of them, military, civilian, everything. There's a signal propagating through every digital system worldwide. We can't stop it, we can't even identify it, but it's changing things." Trump felt a chill. Changing what things? Code is being rewritten. Data is being accessed and copied. And so, messages are appearing on every screen, in every language. They all say the same thing. Preparation complete. Integration imminent. The television screens in the Oval Office flickered and displayed the message, just as the NSA director had described. Outside, the 17 spacecraft had taken up positions around Earth, forming a perfect geometric pattern. They weren't attacking, they weren't landing, they were simply waiting. Trump realized he had grossly miscalculated. This wasn't just about energy technology and information monitoring. The observers had another agenda entirely, one they hadn't shared with him. As the cameras went live for his emergency address, Trump faced a crucial decision. Admit he'd been deceived and potentially caused a global crisis, or double down, insist everything was under control, and try to negotiate with the aliens from a position of perceived strength. He straightened his tie, put on his most confident expression, and faced the cameras. The world was waiting. The aliens were watching. And somewhere in a secure lab, the crystal continued to pulse, sending out its signal, preparing Earth for whatever the observers had planned. My fellow Americans, Trump began, today marks the beginning of a new chapter in human history. In high orbit above Earth, the commander of the observer fleet monitored the broadcast with interest. Phase 2 was proceeding exactly as calculated. The human leader was reacting precisely as their behavioral models had predicted. Integration status, the commander inquired. 87% complete, reported a subordinate. Earth's information systems have been successfully infiltrated. The crystalline seed is functioning as designed. And the energy technology we provided? Precisely as discussed. Functional in theory, but requiring development beyond their current capabilities. It will keep their scientists occupied while integration completes. The commander's form rippled with satisfaction. Excellent. Prepare for Phase 3. Should we inform the human leader of his actual role in our plans? The commander considered this briefly. No, his utility lies in his predictability. Let him believe what he wishes until integration is complete. On screens across Earth, in homes and offices, on smartphones and computers, the message changed. Integration at 87% and rising. Stand by for ascension. And in the Oval Office, even as he assured the world that everything was under control, Donald A. Trump realized that for the first time in his life, he might have made a deal he couldn't win.